afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. I'm your host, Imperial Dane. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on the road to Kharkov. We shall be watching here Fancy fighting for Germany for the Oberkommando West for the 1st SS Panzer Division Leibstandarte, facing off here versus Honeynuts, fighting for the Soviet Union and the glory of Comlet's 10th Guards Tank Corps. We've got Breakthrough, we've got Scavenge, we've got Fortification here versus Shock Rifle, Guard Motor and Shock Army. Bulletins are pretty much all infantry. We've got more or less the sort of basic startups from either players, some infantry, no early structures on early Kuberwagen from the side of Fancy, or say some extra Sturmpioniere early on. So in that regard it is somewhat basic. Got a second Volkswagen squad there arriving, points they're being secured, like the sort of usual move towards there. We got a truck rushing here from Fancy, crushing the fences. Haha, silly Russians, that is what will happen to you as well, once we get the guns, that is. I think he's actually sort of trying to catch the truck here using unfinished sandbags. I'm not sure exactly what Honeynuts is thinking here. It seems like he's basically trying to sort of create a very basic barrier of assaults, and Fancy's just wrecking more fences like a hooligan drunk right after match. We got more countries there running for Honeynuts, which focusing rather hard on the west side. We got some Sturmpioniere moving a bit aggressively there, I think, for Fancy. On the right side, Volkswagen is securing the fuel, but looks like he might have some plans quick sneaking about there, hitting the fascist or the Bolsheviks from another side there with his Sturmgewehre. Conscripts here sneak about as well. Third Volkswagen soon arriving. Third conscripts also all more or less ready. Question is, what will Fancy do for this truck? His schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper. Got some lighter action going down here. Conscripts in the building, forcing the Volkswagen all to take up positions at the building. In the end, though, there's a bit of a fence there, slightly separating them. Only slightly.
Engineers ready for assignment.
Bit of an awkward shootout. But there we go, Sturmpioniere going to flank in just as conscripts move about here. No, Fancy actually breaks off the engagement right there, feeling that was maybe not just advanced. We've got Volkswagen moving out there, still securing the right hand side. Third unit there arrives. We've got a second combat engineer, by the way, arriving here, and that usually indicates he might then use those to build something up while he's using the other ones to fight at the front line. Maybe he would consider getting up a flamethrower, just using them for some very aggressive forward mines as well. Assault party being shifted over on the right flank. Two conscript teams. Sturmpioniere here, engaging the conscripts though. Who actually pulls back the spot here. There's not really a lot of cover for them to use it versus Sturmpioniere, so I think that might have been a slight mistake. But then again, with that many conscripts arranged, it might not have worked out quite favourably for the Sturmpioniere. So I suppose I can't follow them. We also got a bit of barbed wire there, basically to make sure they can't just move straight here, but they have to take a slightly longer path, also exposing them to more fire, and particularly they want to take the point. But we got him basically sitting up here, he's expecting him to sort of maybe try and move there, in which case the Volkswagen will not making then catch him with the Sturmpioniere here, although setting him into the jet there feels a bit risky, not exactly a lot of windows, in particular not here, there's a window. Fourth Volkswagen in this squad there, and we've got a mechanized regiment headquarters up here at the same time. From the Special Rifle Command, we've got a M3A1 there, so both players might opt for something mechanized, or in the case of Fancy, he might of course just be rushing ahead there for something else. But you rarely see them using a mechanized regiment headquarters for that, not at least without getting a Kuberwagen.
The sector is at risk.
But of course we'll have to see how that works out. We have got forces moving up here, we've got a large push up on the right flank actually, we've got 3 forces and the Sturmpioniere. And Honeynuts is not quite ready to receive, but there we go. We got the scout car rushing straight into it. Sturmpioniere be hunted down here. There might be a chance of losing him. A rather harsh and unfriendly chance. Oh, here the engagement base didn't work out very well here for the Volkswagen. Now come to fire from two sides. Plus overall there was only one guy able to really shoot back. The Volkswagen they continue here trying to hunt down. We got a flak half track on the way for Fancy, though noting he's not trading resources in the slightest. M3A1 here under fire. Trying to focus it down as much as possible. There we go, we got a panic check All of a sudden the tables here turn on him. And there we go. Abandon. Oh, he got shot. Oh, I think he should have waited till he said anyone was a bit further. There we go. A quick shot there rather ruins the entire thing.
Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland.
So that could maybe have worked out a bit better, I think, for Fancy. But, oh well. We got the flak half-track there mobilized. And we got Guards infantry at the same time from Honeynuts, quickly equipping them with some DP light machine guns as well. But now turn the tables here in Fancy. We've got Honeynuts here advancing pretty aggressively. So points, but here the flak half-track might turn tables around once more. In particular, since it seems like Honeynuts got no anti-tank grenades. So in this case, Fancy might be playing a bit bold, but then again, he might be, of course, hoping his opponent isn't prepared for this. And sets up the flak half-track thus in a rather bold and menacing manner. And that will certainly force Honeynuts to have to upgrade for grenades. I have to rely a lot on his guardsmen trying to catch it all guard and knock it out that way. Of course, I have to see which way develops. But we do got a doctrinal choice then for Fancy, and it is Skirmishes. It's been some time there. Also, don't get then, well, salvage the half-track there, not just the scout car, not just for fuel but munitions. And there we go. That could definitely prove to be advantageous there for Fancy. Truck rapidly rushing it there. Need to set up. He's getting very bold there. He must be feeling confident, very confident in his opponent. Oh, he's moving into it though! He's moving straight within range of the flak half-track. I don't think that was very wise there by Honeynuts. There we go, we got the 80 grenades. Maybe that was the reason he fought. He might have misjudged his timing there. Oh, we have anti... Oh shit, we don't. We've got a bit of light tanks. There we got the guardsmen inside the scout car. Nasty combination there. Light machine guns and anti-tank rifles on the move, ready to sort of respond to a lot of threats there. Got conscripts still hanging about here, and they are quickly dispatched with haste by the proud soldiers of Germany. Well, maybe not Fritz, he's actually from Austria. But anyways, we got scout car there rushing southwards. And there we go, got some Jaegers. They actually went there for harassing the fuel. Pretty clever, pretty clever. In this case, he's got a slight problem. He's not really got any serious response here to this, and needs to retreat the Jaegers before they get completely wiped out. You're not making good progress on the rest of the map there. We've got some mines there by Honeynuts. We got the flak half-track in a guarding position. No, moves forward, moves forward. Rolling ahead there, pushing a few Russian corpses out of the way. Got Fulzer moving up with the Panzerschreck, the Raketen Panzerbüchse. There you go. M3A1 might be in trouble there. He needs to get out there, I don't think. He's really intent on getting them, but he might be pushing his luck a bit too much there. I mean, in theory, he could risk a Panzerschreck actually ends up knocking out this and killing the entire unit inside. Yes, there is a chance of that. We can actually do that, but instead we got the guardsmen quickly deploying out of the scout car, pulling it away, basically allowing it to maybe make us get away there. If the guardsmen can basically cover up, maybe put up. Never mind. But there we go, looks like there's another build-up from the assault there, but again, the tides are quickly turned. The flak half-track is definitely turning out to be reasonably useful, though as long as it doesn't get swarmed with anti-tank grenades. The Jaegers drawing a bit of attention there does allow also another thing besides, you know, harassing here. In this case, it actually forces Honeynuts to pull troops away from the front to deal with something in the rear areas, in which case that's also a sort of neat way to use infiltrators. Country in this case running straight into the flak half-track and quickly getting suppressed. No losses though. Over here though, things are looking less grand. There's only a few depleted Volksgrenadiers left to holding things up. We got a battle group headquarters going up. No time, maybe a quick Schwerer Panzer quarters from Fancy. So Guards Motor versus Scavenge. And we got the support women company up and special rifle command. That is usually an indicator that a player tends to sort of, well, use the first strategies, then to sort of play for the later game in terms of doctrinal armor. So that could work out. Well, it's pretty common, though, to be honest. The of course question is, how will Fancy react to this? In particular, if Honeynuts keep up the pressure, it might cause a bit of problem. They've got a second scout there being salvaged for fuel and munitions. So there we go. Fancy's coffers grew a bit there. No more than one guard unit there though for Honeynuts. We got some Maxims out though. Bit of machine gun fire there might prove advantageous versus Fancy's Truppen. Guards only continue to be a bit of a menace, and they've got another combat engineer on the way for Honeynuts. I'm not entirely sure what he's thinking with 3 of them, though. That seems a bit excessive. I think he'd be better off with either some guards driving to more, or maybe a heavy mortar rather than the third one. He's going for a lot of flamethrowers, I suppose, but I know in that case, Stravniki might also prove a bit more of a wise choice in that regard. So I'm not entirely sure what he's thinking there. I'm not entirely sure what Honeynuts is thinking. It might have been a misclick, I guess. But he does strike me as, well, being rather peculiar. Maxim setting up guards and supporting it all.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Poncho there being secured.
Where do you need us?
Bit of lighter pressure there so far, though. Again, Jaegers here striking for the fuel. Fancies of nothing. Stubborn. At the same time as Jaegers this time around are in a pretty terrible condition. There we go. Jürgen went down. Need to get out of there before it's too late. Infantry will continue to pressure up from the south. But overall, Fancy does maintain a good map control here versus Honeynuts, though. He's not really having much success in cutting off the fuel, though. He's not having much success. On the other hand, he's still having good success in terms of victory points and other bits there versus the Russians. But here we go, with popular Maxim, he's making slow progress. And indeed, he did go for a second flamethrower. Then again, the partner would say, you know, why not just go for penal troops instead? A bit more, well, tough in that regard. Also able to do more damage. So he can't help but question that particular decision there by Honeynuts. But we got Fancy basically striking left, right. He actually hasn't used the flak half-track much there. Actually, that's a bit of a surprise. I mean, there's been plenty of infantry they could have used it. I suppose the guard for might have been a bit more cautious, but I mean, in the right circumstances, if you screen it properly, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Third truck arriving. Could he be planning a spare punch at quarters? Maybe around here, I guess. Seems like it. And we've got another Jaeger unit. And he goes for the fuel point again. Fancy, you rascal.
You need light anti-tank. Your orders, comrade. Machine gun ready. We have taken.
Interesting enough, he's not really bothered with any field guns here, Mr. Honeynuts, to help sort of deal with the flak half-track. The Welch spare punch at quarters going up with an even bigger flak on the back. And this time around, there doesn't seem to be any response to the Jaegers. He might be a bit too preoccupied here with the front line, or maybe he hasn't detected it all so far. Either way, it looks like this time around, Fancy might be able to run to the point neutral and get enough munitions to get booby trap it, which would be a really mean move versus Honeynuts. Still no response to this. Oh wait, there we go. Looks like finally something goes off there in Honeynuts' perspective, and to finally force him at the same time, though he's striking up the right flank. Fancy is definitely a fan of slightly more fancy footwork, it seems. But that is also fun to watch. And there you go, the Jaegers are finally forced away, but not before they render that point German territory. Got plenty of mines now going down here. Honeynuts getting a bit more cautious. Flak half-track grappling moves. Oh, careful there, careful. Dimitri, you're right next to a mine. And now there's a flak half-track setting up shop. That could definitely... Oh, could it go? Yes, there we go. Didn't do much, though. There was no one right at the spot there, but it could have gone a bit unpleasant there for Honeynuts had it done so. All the way, flak half-track got a few kills. Got another Maxim on the way there. Infantry fighting here. Got him flanking about here. Nicely executed assault there by Fancy. Nicely executed assault. Never mind to stop a flanking assault. And he can actually sort of then, as troops here draw attention, he can then push further forward here with the flak half-track. He's still only got one guards rifleman squad there. He must be feeling pretty confident that's all that needs to hold up that flak half-track. Meanwhile, press continues down here. Grenade assault went off there, actually leaving numerous action crews a bit dead there in the water. Might want to remove the mines once you're in the assault mode, but overall that was not a bad idea. He basically had it to ensure his assault party didn't run into any mines basically running this one entire bit there. So far a very nicely executed flank assault there by Fancy. Absolutely praiseworthy there. Taking advantage of the action over here. Definitely a big thumbs up. Lots of grenades going off there as a comment, but they are not quite there as stop football. But there you go, we've got the flag half going up. We've still got one full squad again flanking it. I mean, Fancy's really, well, being fancy, tactically. And there you go, conscripts getting pelted with high explosive rounds. The results are not very surprising. Might want to spend up a fuel transfer there, then again maybe not, though he might want to speed up for a Panther in my opinion. Honeynuts getting very close, being able to call in the T-35-85s. And in that regard, Fancy might be a bit behind. He's also down to, well, basically 3 Panther strikes to stop it, which also continuing out of infantry that Honeynuts has might prove less than successful. So it's a bit risky there by Fancy what he's currently doing. No fuel train or anything like that. He's, for example, also not laid down any booby traps either, maybe certain junctures, which could also be helpful. He's still got the flak half track, and that can certainly do a lot to slow down an infantry advance. So versus the T-30-45s, it's probably not going to be as useful. Demo charge up there. Looks like Honeynuts is turning up the temperature in the kitchen, increasing the heat to be put here on Fancy. And in fact we might just have the first surprise here, and there we go. Not sure what happened there either way though. Demo charge went up the entire Jaeger unit. Right, sorry about that, seems to have been a slight technical issue. Does rarely happen nowadays, but can still happen. Orbiter on the other way, and they might replace the Jaegers lost there to the demo charge. Instead, though, the sacrifice will serve as a new point of cover here in the nice big crater, which does smell awfully lot like Dick German. Maximir, though, quickly testing its defensibility there, and there we go. We all got one Maximum gunner down in this result. Jaegers holding up the line here. Two moving in. We got the Schwerer Panzer cords opening as well. The flak half track coming up things down south as well, getting a few more kills, closing in on veterans one. Timing, though, in terms of the T-35 is increasing here for Honeynuts. The time is nigh for the tanks. Maxim is not really having much luck in maintaining a solid rate of fire, but that's again due to the low health, and also because, well, it's not quite there in cover. Still no attempt at training resources though for Fancy. No resource training attempt. Guards infantry they're holding up, but they might soon be forced to retreat. We've got Jaegers and Volkers moving up. Then again, well, there we go. We'll place grenade. Oh, grenade tracks are being exchanged here. Guards infantry on the hand ended up being the one suffering more. And there we go. The T-35s have been summoned up. And now Fancy might be in a bit of trouble here. This currently he's a bit lacking in the assets for properly dealing with it. And I imagine a target for Honeynuts might be trying getting that Schwer Panzer quarters to deny Fancy the possibility of a Panther. We've also got Osprins available right now for Fancy, but that's obviously not going to be his immediately first choice here versus 2 T-35s who are already rampaging through his forces. Also got the flak half track rapidly backing away. No intent on becoming a target for the Soviet tank crews. Not one bit. So now Honeynuts' greater counterattack might be beginning here, and it's going to be a bit tricky there for Fancy to hold it back. He's still not trading resources. I mean, I'm not saying you should always do it, but at times, you know, you might want to at least try and rush for a Panther, like in these situations, try and deal with it. I mean, I certainly hope he's not trying to rely on a Jap Panzer IV. That would be a bit tragic. To say the least. To say the least. I apologize, I got a bit slightly sidetracked by thought. And he's got T-35s advancing, focus on his out! Nasty hit there, and again that's why we have there around with T-35s. They can get off some good potent shots there versus your infantry. There we go, the line of resistance is already thinning out here. And quick got Fancy being rushed off. And there you go, the assault was a direct for the spare panzer quarters. We got a field gun up as well, which can basically allow him to sit back here and basically guard it with the tanks. Got flak half, so dealing with a few assault troops here. Maximum here might actually end up being lost here to the flak half track. And there we go, wiped out. T-35 is slightly forced back. One not in a very good condition. The other one's looking pretty good though. Field gun's also been so far for the time being retreated. But Honeynuts is not the type to give up. He's quickly getting the other tank repaired.
Ready for duty.
And we've got the flak half setting up to cover the centre, ensuring no infantry reinforcements can come up from here and sort of disturb things that way. Volker's doing what they can here from the nearby buildings. It's not really looking good. We've got Fancy basically trying to form an anti-tank defence. The problem is with the Maxims and other things, it's going to be a bit tricky. Plus, even then, the field guns can still basically bombard it from a safe distance, which would force the Volker to have to attack out into the open, which is not really to the advantage of Fancy, in particular with the Maxim covering as well. So Roll is in a bit of a bad position, a bit of a risky one, but he's still trying it though. Fancy is not giving up. Maxim not recruited. Looks like the first man hanging about down there were forced away with a flak half track, which is at 15 kills, which is pretty neat. And there we go, Volker squad there was wiped out by combined bombardment and T-35 shot. And at the same time though, again we've got Fancy here flanking. He's definitely a pretty solid flanker though in this case. The losses end up being a bit heavy. They still got one T-35. Well, he might end up losing a Volker squad more, which would then be a bit painful. At the same time, though, assault continues up with the centre. There was only one Panzerstreck left, and the unit's a bit close up here. In fact, the T-35 is also in pretty good condition. And there you go, full retreat there. Flak half track coming short. You got a Panther on the way finally. Then again, I think that's faster. Now the trick is how will it hold up. It's pretty damaged here. There's definitely a risk at this point. It might not be finished, in which case question will be what will Fancy do? Which almost sounds like a children's book. What will Fancy do? Anyways. And there we go, the spare panzer quarters down. Instead, he got a flak panzer out. That's an interesting decision. But considering he might have gone down to one tank, he feels maybe he can punish the infantry sufficiently. He might have a chance of something. We've got another demo charge going down there. Honeynuts missing a beat there to do some nasty stuff. In this case, it might backfire on them. In particular, that flak panzer got off a good shot. That could have set off the demo charge, wiping out the engineers. Demo charge killing one Jaeger unit. And oh, no, no! He didn't pay attention! He just wasted the Jaeger squad accruing the Maxim. Oh no! That's a rather dreadful situation there for Fancy. But it is time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is Honeynuts has finally sort of delivered a nice counterstroke here to Fancy. Rather derailing things, at least for the time being. He's basically, for the time being, also managed to basically say, no, you're not getting a Panther. And with a flak Panther, he's also pretty confident he's not going to be seeing a King Tiger either anytime soon. So that rather limits Fancy's options here for sort of dealing with the T-35s, and there likely will be more. I mean, he could go for the Yak Panther 4 option, but that's not necessarily a good idea as ever, so I'll always be in position to that. But also considering the map layout, it's going to be a lot less useful here. He'd be better off actually instead he was going to Pumas. More mobile, good rate of fire, also better at dealing with infantry. I mean, it does overall have a lot more options, plus it's cheaper. And in that regard, it might prove to be the better option here versus Honeynuts, though it's only going to be tricky if Honeynuts sends in more T-3045s, in which case, of course, the lighter armoured cars there might struggle versus the heavier T-3045s. But for Honeynuts, so considering he was playing, for a straight doctrinal play there, I'm surprised there weren't any fuel caches. I mean, it's pretty risky to just, rely solely on your fuel point, in particular considering Fancy's active in striking at them with the Jaeger. So in that regard, he really should have a fuel cache up, maybe even two to sort of support the T-3045 play. In that regard, he's going to end up with some notable pauses there and be able to get calling in men, which could certainly be to the advantage of Fancy, even despite Fancy being all but commando best. If he begins trading for fuel, there might be less of an advantage there. So in that regard, it's a bit tricky here for Honeynuts. In particular, if he does go for the Puma route, he can easily fill up his vehicle pool that way, which might actually give the T-35s a bit more to struggle with. In particular, since while he did lose some Volksguns, he still's got plenty left with the Panzerschrecks. So things are a bit tricky in that regard. He's still got a pretty solid force, but I do really feel he needs a fuel carriage up. Around here would be a good spot, and that way sort of help build his fuel supplies up a bit better. And overall giving a stronger fuel situation there versus his opponent. But beyond that, I mean, again, you know, he could try and set up for a King Tiger, but that might be a bit risky. At least a Puma then he should get before aiming for the King Tiger. Otherwise, he needs to get a lot of that flak panzer. In that regard, though, I have some, faith in Fancy, considering his previous play. A good few flaks for that could definitely punish Honeynuts pretty severely and leave him bleeding quite a bit. By the might of the Reich. But back to the fight here. Back to the fight. Got the remaining T-35 being repaired. Flak after the covering. Field gun here, a bit exposed, and there we go, looks like the flak panzer, yes, there we go, clears it out. Wiping the crew, allowing the infantry to advance. Maximum setting up. Yeah, we also got a flak panzer there firing in, Fox is moving up further. Pretty bold assault here, considering everything from Fancy, though, with the field gun out, he's probably feeling reasonably confident in that regard. Since while the T-35 is a bit of a threat here, he probably feels, you know, with the Volksguns with their Patricks around, he might have a chance of basically holding it. You actually got a Kedma for the rhyming as well to support things. That's not bad. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Field gun though is recruit, which rather has to sort of dampen his excitement now with his flak panzer. You still got the flak half track covering the centre. And there we go, going for the cut-off point. Fancy ever tactically aware, strikes at other points while he probably realises, oh wait, my opponent's placed most of his force here, let's go where he isn't and cause some economic harm. Well played there. Now we've got the flak panzer actually to support here, allowing the flak panzer to retreat. Not too bad there, not too bad. Orbiter down, though, also fighting covering fire there from the remnants of a wooden cart. As trees and other things fly in the general direction. A T-35 now veteran C2. That's going to have a bigger problem there for Fancy as it gains a higher rate of fire, which of course also means going to be able to kill more infantry rapidly. So there's a bit of a problem there for Fancy if he's not careful. We got a Puma there on the way then. Thankfully he did not go for the Yak Panzer IV. I mean, once of those the T-35s would have hit, he would probably be in a lot of trouble then. Since they've been easily able to swarm, and in particular, again, this kind of map there, the Yak Panzer IV's limited mobility would be even more of a hazard. Well, certainly the mobility won't be too much better for the Puma. It'll at least be able to sort of more swiftly navigate it, plus its turret would give it a bit more, well, adaptability to it, so it's not all bad in that regard. It's certainly, again, a much, much better choice than the Yak Panzer IV, plus, again, the Puma does handle infantry notably better as well. They're not much, much better, again, like, say, a Flak Panzer or the Flak Half-Track. It's still better than the Yak Panzer IV, which also makes the Puma a better choice. But there you go. Schwerer Panzerspielwagen, the 234, based on, well, the successor to the 231 chassis, which was slowly being phased out. Got something that worked a bit better. In part because the 231 had actually been based on a civilian car design back before the war began. Alongside the 221 and 222 actually. And we've actually got, nope, I thought he was marking it, but nope, we actually got budding off there. The Puma was quick to pull back. Though clearly Fancy doesn't feel too threatened since he doesn't pop smoke there. Interesting enough, he's also got prioritized vehicles on the Puma. I mean, he could try and get off some infantry kills, so I think that would work out nicely for him, but in this case, now he ends up popping smoke. Though it still does protect him from the anti-tank grenade. Light post here, guarding the victory point. Overall, the victory point is definitely going against Honeynuts here. Oh, the guards inside the building in a bit of trouble. The Flak Panzer is definitely tanked the interiors apart. I feel Fancy here might be getting in a bit bold. He's moving ahead with a flak half-track straight into everything. Though he's getting very close to victory too. And gets quite a few more kills there, adding a kill tally ultimately of 20 then.
You're ready. Send orders.
Lots of sandbag positions going down here for Fancy to sort of slow down an enemy assault. Not bad.
Capture complete. Standing by. Squad back to full strength.
Front being secured. The T-35 once more fighting ready. Very soon he will just call in another pair though. And we got another Puma on the way as well. Another Puma. So there's definitely no immediate attempt there. The King Tiger. So he is trading for fuel. He is trading for fuel. Maybe realizing he needs more here, since he figures he might soon be hit by another wave of Soviet tanks. And while 2 Puma certainly will struggle with it, it probably won't be as much as a single Panzer IV would. In particular, the Pumas will have a better chance of basically staying out of the range of the T-3045s. Again, we got to push up the right flank. He's got some light forces guarding the left. We got most of Fancy's vehicle pool here being repaired, except for the Puma which just arrived. And there we go, the more T-35s have just arrived, so it's up to 3 here. Versus 2 Pumas, a flak half-track and a flak Panzer.
Well done, comrades. Win this hour. Engineers, on me.
And we got a full infantry assault. They're straight into the Orbis Garden and the Foxes, but lots of flamethrowers there. And there you go, the T-35 advances. Oh, grenade straight into the mass of infantry. It's actually up to 4 combat engineers. I think Honeynuts really should have just at least maybe gone for 1 Stravniki unit instead of just so many combat engineers. I can't help but feel that's a bit of a wrong move. Lots of smoke being popped there. That's insane. But there we go. 1 Puma already looking a bit unfortunate there. The Kenrev setting up. Doing his best. He might lose. There we go. 1 Puma down though. Flak half-track needs to get away. Flak Pants also needs to do. We might get 1 T-35 down. The Kenrev about to be clear. And there goes smoke pop. But at the same time, it's not been repaired. So it can't really move very far. And there we go, the Kenrev does get knocked out. We got some forces with the Panzer, but at the same time they're busy covering the Jaeger machine gun. Puma doing what he can there. T-35 mark consider getting out of there. Almost got the T-35. Other one getting very close to it. 3 actually needs to get away with it before Panzer knocks it out. Well, in this case, Honeynuts actually being pretty bold. Puma shot bounced, and there we go. Veteran 3, higher mobility. Even high rate of fire, he just speeds away. Flak Pans on the other hand, the dire straits there needs to blitz, I think. And there we go, another T-35 down. I think he might end up losing that Flak Pans. And there we go. I think he should have gotten out of there instead, though. He pushed it on a bit further. In the end, he still got the Puma. But it was a pretty bloody exchange there for both sides. I'm not entirely sure how it came out the best. In the end, though, I suppose it might have been Honeynuts. Since technically, Fancy lost a lot more equipment. He lost a Puma, flak half-track, Austrian flak Panzer Kenrev crew was wiped out. Comparative, of course, he lost 2 T-35s, but on the other hand, it's probably still less what Fancy paid for his force. Plus, he's still the chance of veteran to 3 T-35, which is definitely going to be a headache for Fancy. With that rate of fire and mobility, plus the already noticeable durability also starts. And there you go, another Jaeger unit arrives here to support Fancy, and once more it goes straight for the fuel point. He's done absolutely nothing to say maybe burn down the houses. That could be one option. And there we go, that T-35 just ends up tearing apart numerous Volksgrenadiers in a few well-placed shots. Maxim still holding out here from a demo charge crater. Starving the guards infantry in the advance. And there you go, T-35 coming from the Puma. He does quickly pull it back here. Though we do see Fancy moving forwards again for another quick strike here. And there we go, Veteran T2. And he actually managed to secure the fuel point. He even has the munitions to lay down a booby trap on the point. That would definitely be pretty cheeky, to say the least. Another Puma there arriving. Fancy clearly focused on trying to deal with the Soviet armored threat first. He could always get another flak half-track as opposed to flak panzer support afterwards.
Target captured. No enemy contact.
The arrival of T-35 down south quickly changes things up. And all of Fancy's Volksgun is actually now Veteran 25. That's actually slightly scary. More Maxims for Honeynuts.
Capture our territory.
We are now equipped with a flamethrower.
The enemy has cut off a sector.
Armor car ready.
Continued pressure here from Fancy.
Puma ready.
Now a full Puma patrol here. The Puma, by the way, being designed for sort of being more independent without needing to sort of have more support units supporting it. In the end, that design was basically scrapped, and they basically sort of went over under the Führer's orders for basically Puma variants with bigger guns. But on the other hand, they went fixed more assault gun like positions. For example, one with a Pak 49 with a 75mm cannon. So, little fun fact there about these heavier armoured cars. Literally 3 T-35 moves ahead again. Here comes out from the 2 Pumas. Victory points definitely not looking good here for Honeynuts. He needs something a bit more drastic here to change things up. And again, the lack of fuel caches is definitely fuel hurting him. Maximum a bit of trouble again. He just basically had a large horde here of engineers. In fact, he's up to 5 engineer squads. I rather think here Honeynuts might be overdoing it. I mean, I can see certainly having the use of 3 engineer squads quickly repaying the T-35, but 5, that's... I think Honeynuts here might be making a mistake. Though it is still a lot of flamethrowers, and it certainly could wipe out any units caught off guard pretty quickly. But Honeynuts does find himself beleaguered all across the frontage here as Fancy keeps trying to slip through the cracks and do something nasty. You got mines going down, which is good, and it's been definitely no mines, I think, from Fancy. I think it would have been interesting if he'd laid down some here and there. Or laid down some booby traps. And we've got a second flak panzer sent in support. A second flak panzer. Ah, there it is. There we go, Puma strike here against T-35. No attempt at an aim shot though, that's probably because he doesn't have the munitions, otherwise I'd probably suggest it. Might see the T-35 here go down, needs to quickly get out of there. We got a field gun by the way supporting. Looks like he's able to pilfer away a weapon there from the Russian forces. Flak Panther makes, oh, catches an Maxim off guard here. Once more Fancy displays there some good tactical mind. T-35 more out. He's definitely trying to save it there, but crushing. Oh, he might do it. He might do it. Almost lost the entire infantry unit there to the T-35. Might still end up losing it. The situation is not good. We got Pumas now, and we got a flak panzer, and he's definitely sensed what state the T-35 is, and he's definitely feeling like he can get in. Still, it's a veteran 3 T-35 in the pool will struggle a bit versus that. He's buttoning it up. He's got a marked vehicle of it. He's popping smoke. He's still going through. Shot bounced. Damage being done. They got a field gun. Oh. Anti-tank grabs him. With the marked vehicle, it could actually go down to that. Field gun turning. Can he get it? No, it looks like he gets away. Looks like Fancy gets away. Damn close. He was about to lose that Puma there to the Russians. Desperate struggle there to maintain the victory point, but things are not really going Honeynuts' way again. The lack of fuel caches, I really feel, is one of the bigger ones. that's really holding him back. Now he's just constantly playing for the T-35s, but again, it's basically going to be longer and longer periods between each colony, in particular as Fancy keeps up the pressure there versus the fuel point. I mean, that is essentially one of the bigger drawbacks to playing this kind of strategy. I mean, if it first gets countered, or even sort of encounters any issues, I mean, it loses a lot of power and you can very quickly end up being drained. That's basically what sort of happened now. I mean, he's still got a strike power, but the problem was his part, he's just got so many combat engineers. I'm not entirely sure what Honeynuts were thinking. The only, in fact, non-engineer unit he's got now is actually the Guardsmen, and they dropped the DP there. T5 strike forwards again, though. It's basically the sort of thing carrying the entire effort now, I think, for Honeynuts. Without it, he'd be dead meat. But even that can't last forever. Even that can't last forever. So there's definitely a bit of a heavy risk involved there. He's basically shifting from point to point, maybe sort of trying to get Fancy to make some less than Fancy footwork and basically sort of deliver a strike there that might just unsettle him. But again, with lack of tanks he's got, it's a bit tricky. He can't even get out a T-70 or T-34, 76 to just sort of augment things. There's no Air-35, so Air-6 is sort of Katyusha, which could actually also prove useful. So in that regard, Honeynuts a bit purposes. There we go. Puma's field guns firing there, forcing the T-35 back again. Another attempt there rebuffed by Fancy. How shall Honeynuts react to this? He's definitely setting up for another pair of T-35s. He's very close, but the question is, what will he do with them once he's got it? Where will he strike? Where should his blow land, and will he end up handing over another field gun to his opponent, which is not really good? And there you go, the response is immediate. Barrels going in there from Fancy to silence the enemy anti-tank gun. There you go, the T-35 gun. There we go, the veteran fleet moving in. Again, coming under fire from the Pumas. We've got field guns supporting it though. Pantrix though going in. Seems like he's very much intending to sort of capture the center, but as it stands right now, that's where most of Fancy's attention is on, where most of the vehicles the Pantrix are aimed at. And then again, he might be the strike on the right flank, which could then be followed up with an assault through the center, if he can sort of make the one on the right flank seem, well, nasty enough. Well, in this case, going there for a sort of clean wipe down the Foster squad while he has the chance. Points are definitely not looking good here. He's definitely going to need to turn it around now. Sandbags going up. We basically got Fancy digging in here across the line. Foster's then be on top. We got Pumas firing. Other Puma still with the damage in fact, very little health. We got a fresh Schwerpanzer quarters up. Field gun moving in as well. We've got everything here from Honeynuts being moved towards the right flank in an attempt to break through Fancy's right flank. And of course Fancy responds by basically moving everything over there that needs to be sent over there. At that point, Honeynuts got nothing to exploit through the center with. So in that regard, he should have left something in the center, even just a single infantry unit to sort of follow up. We've got field guns executing forwards. We got the veteran T-35 there. 38 kills by them. He's really done great managing that one T-35. Certainly better than all the other ones. And a veteran 3 T-35 have certainly nothing to scoff at. Lots of shots bouncing off armor, and there we go. Striking southwards, the straight into demo charge. But I think he's too preoccupied here on the right. Tactically pay attention to what's going on the left. Run. Oh, never mind. A pop was heard in the distance, and another Jaeger unit bites the dust. But veteran T4 for the Puma now, that's damn impressive. That's definitely going to be a problem there, I think, for Honeynuts. As that can actually do some serious harm. We got another unit arriving and going straight for the victory point. There he knows again what his target is. Again, he's now guarding one point, but he's not guarding the other. In that regard, the engineers are not that strong on defence. Not without us to sort of support them. Field gun quickly goes down there to a quick assault there from the Flak Panzer from the north. Nicely executed there. Eventually, Fleety for the striking versus the Jaegers. We've got no real support there for them, so the T-35 should be able to handle this. Now, he's actually blocking this security of the turret, trying instead to crush them. Oh dear, I mean, we can really see here, basically, Honeynuts is so desperate, he can't even use the tank's main gun, because if he does, he's going to lose the point. And then he might lose due to the victory point range, so it's actually a bit of a tragic situation. In this case, though, he was able to save it, but that was actually a pretty close call. And so again, does highlight the edge to reach Honeynuts and driven here by Fancy. Another field gun crew maximum wiped here. The Flak Panzer gaining veterans who won. Puma's advancing. Good shots going off there. And there we go. Victory 2 for 1 Puma. And there we go. Another one cooked up. Meanwhile, the Jaeger Maxim is actually still fighting. Impressive. As all of this is happening, Honeynuts is basically falling apart now. Oh, he's finally allowing him to shoot at infantry, and they are quickly proving their lethality. Quickly finishing off a bunch of engineer units there.
All of our troops have been lost.
What is Honeynuts thinking here? What is he thinking? A final rampage of death. Oh, looks like they had a flamethrower, and there we go. Burst open and dead. Game over here. Game over. A victory for Germany, a victory for the Reich, a victory for Fancy. Nicely played here by him. Good, strong, tactical and strategic play. He made several good flanks. He kept his head calm. Delivered some good damage. Even in the face of T-35s there, he did not really sort of falter. He did not just go for the knee-jerk reaction, which some players go for Jagd Panzer IV. He made the wiser choice and went for Pumas, which are ultimately better in dealing with armor and better in dealing with infantry. And they're cheaper. I mean, overall, the Puma's currently a superior choice to the Jagd Panzer IV. So in that regard, nicely played there by him. Also good use of the Flak Panzers, Flak half-tech, overall very nice display. Then also finally some scavenge play in action as well. I might like to see some mines from him, and I do think he could have rushed for that Panther, but beyond that there's not really any sort of huge criticisms to level against Mr. Fancy. The problem is more the other guy, Mr. Honeynuts. I totally did not need to sort of enable the UI to remember that one. But I mean, he was basically playing a doctrinal play, and versus the Orbital Command System might have a slightly better chance of success, but the problem is basically once it was sort of initially countered and bogged down, it encounters his problem, which was he didn't have the resources to keep it up, particularly the way he was playing and the way he was sacrificing T-35s. In that regard, he ended up actually losing out there to Fancy and the cheaper Puma. So in that regard, Honeynuts made a notable tactical and strategic mistake. He definitely should have had some fuel caches up to support that play. Should have had something else in terms of armor supporting the T-35s. A part of me would also like to see some mortars or snipers or deal with infantry. I definitely think that was also something Honeynuts could have benefited from greatly. But otherwise, some nice play there from these two players on the road to Kharkov. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and write some feedback in the comment section. And this is Imperial Danger. Cheers, and thank you all for watching. Bye.